Alright guys, welcome back to another episode on Proven Motorcycles. Feel like an auctioneer right now. I'm all jacked up on caffeine. We got... Hey, what's that? Looks like a petcock. Yeah. We are cleaning up this area and okay, so previous vlogs we have talked about it, and we are going to redo this fueling system on the turbo, the 05 Gixxer 1000.
The dinosaur's being touched.
Yes, the dinosaur is finally getting messed with a little bit more. In the previous vlog, or one of the previous vlogs, we talked about redoing this fuel system because I was like, you know what, it's a good, for what it is, it's a good fuel system. It worked. It is clean work, don't get me wrong. I like these connectors, these, what are they called again? Pinch connector, or fuck. I forgot. Anyway, they're called like pinch clamps or something along those lines. Really nice touch, honestly. Really good touch. They're solid, but again, they're kind of, once you try to take these off, you actually have to cut these off. So we want to do something a little bit more. This is also a little bit older technology. This is an FMU, very old technology. This is like early 2000s, late 90s type of technology. So we wanted to update this system. And this customer said, look, I just want this bike to be a lot better than what it is. I want to update it. I want it looking good, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go ahead and do that for them. The guys and I, we keep talking about the fueling system and we keep debating on how we're going to do it. We've got the new relays all wired up. They're basically ready to go. We do have some loose wires, some loose ends here that we need to finalize. So we need to run these, for instance, to the fuel pump. So we have the 2 leads for the fuel pump, and then we have another 2 leads. Is this, okay, so this is for the oil pump. So all we need to do is our power and ground for the battery. So, our switched power and then ground. So needless to say, we have all this ready to go. We have the fuel pump wiring ready to go. Thank you to Chris. So what we're gonna do now, we started kind of re-looking at everything, and we've got a good game plan here. So I wanted to, Jesus, little warning. So we wanted to kind of give you an update before we ran all the fueling systems so you guys can get a really good understanding on how it's looking now versus how it's gonna look once we're done. So here's the current fuel system. It's got a little Bosch pump in here right now, which is plenty, again, this is plenty of fueling for what the current setup is. But again, we just wanted to revamp it. We wanted it to look better and have a little bit more longevity's sake, because this pump is gonna be in a hot area. He's got the potential to boil this fuel, and it has happened. We've had it happen on a customer bike in the past where they physically were boiling fuel because the pump was where the pump was located and where the lines were all being ran. So we're gonna redo all of that here today. For the most part, we don't have the fuel pump, so that's kind of where we're at with this bike. We're kind of hitting the ground running. I also need to still grind down this turbo. We've already marked it. I know it's sketchy, trust me, I know you guys on the internet out there, you're gonna tell me exactly what I should not do, but we're gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna grind this down so that way we can have proper clearance, or at least better clearance. And you see, they've already done it here, so they already knew they had an issue. So we're gonna grind this down a little bit more so that way we can have the clearance, so that way it can seal up on these exhaust ports, so we don't have an exhaust leak on this bike. So anyway, we wanted to give you guys this updating whenever we come up with this new idea, whenever we're getting ready to make a big move. I like to do the updates and at least film it, because next thing you know, we get through it and you're like, ah, crap, we should have filmed that. So we're doing it. So Daryl's gonna get busy on that. He's excited. I know he's excited. Yeah. It's fun. It's cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's cool doing this shit. So, and then I got the ZX10. I'm gonna be working on this. Lewis is gonna be helping him out. Doing the fueling system, and he's got also a ZX14 he's working on as well. And like I said, I got this Gen 6. This is a brand new ZX10R that we got going on. Just basically another ECU flash and dyno tune. So we're gonna get busy and keep it moving and do what we do best, party. So getting ready to baseline this bad boy. Oh, they've already taken out the, so they already did the delete back here. Wow, that's like one of the first things he did. Cool. All right. So right here is where the servo motor sits normally on these bikes. So the exhaust servo motor, so they already took that out. The ECU is located back here. So we have to run our RPM pickup back here, and then I also gotta finish putting the sniffer in for the exhaust. All right, for those of you who wanna do a valve cover gasket or a valve adjustment on your ZX10 14R, this is what it takes. You gotta take fuel tank off, you have the airbox plates you gotta take out, You have the throttle body assembly, the velocity stacks, those all have to get removed. It is a mother lover. It is not an easy process to do this. And we still haven't even gotten the valve cover off yet. There's still all this rubber. You got the coil, ignition coils. You have the bunch of sensors that are all on top here. It's not a fun job. Lewis kind of took a moment of silence before doing this. It's not a fun process, guys, at all. So right now they're going to situate the throttle body assembly, kind of get it out of the way there. And you can kind of see up in there a little bit. Sorry, Daryl, I'm all up in your grill. Whenever you guys hear us on some of our hours of labor and it's like, yeah, it's going to take a minute. This is why. It is not an easy process. And mind you, they know what they're doing. Now imagine you're going in there, you don't know what you're doing. I would say triple the amount of hours that it would normally take any other rep. Sometimes I would even say quadruple the amount of time it takes. So a little tidbit here, we get people all the time that call us and ask us about installing exhaust systems and stuff like that. And there's times where we quote them out. We're like, yeah, it's about a 3-hour job, depending on the bike. You know, it's like 3.5 hours roughly to do it right. You're taking everything off, you're making sure everything's wiped down, cleaned up, installed basically to perfection. It's like, yeah, some of these exhausts, they take a good 3 hours. And people complain, they bitch up a storm. And it's funny because then I'll encourage them, well, why don't you do it? You know, like honestly, like I'm not saying it to be an asshole. Like, why don't you do it? Just go ahead. I go, man, take the weekend, get some beers, smoke, whatever you do, lay it all out and go ahead and do it. And the guys that actually fulfill it and actually do the job, and then they come in for the tune, because I encourage it, honestly, they come in and they're like, dude, that job sucked. It took me 8 hours. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been there. I've done that. I've had years of experience. Lewis, years of experience. Daryl, you know, he's a little newer, but he has worked on cars. He has experience. We're like, we know it's not as easy as you think it is. So again, I just wanted to show it. The guys are deep into that job. I wanted to basically show their hard work because they're chipping away and they're busting their ass to get this job done on a timely manner and get it done right. And it still takes a while to do. It does. Believe it or not, it does. So I wanted to show that real quick while they were balls deep, knocking it out, crushing it. Yeah. Faster! It's just a few bolts. It's only like 6 bolts. I'd do it if I had the tools and something else. Like, I forgot. Anyway, there's a laundry list of them. So it's funny whenever people throw me all the... Yeah, oh yeah. I saw it on YouTube and the guy on YouTube did it in 5 minutes. Yeah, they did it in 10 minutes, bro. When you come in with that exhaust leak or you come in and ain't sitting right or something goes wrong, it's like, man, that sucks, dude. Oh well. Again, we don't, I mean, but at the end of the day, like honestly, we do have our great customers on it. We really do. But some of the ones that are a little bit more difficult, like we feel for you guys. We do, we get it. We know times are tough. We're in the same situation. We're in the same boat. You know, we're not millionaires or anything like that. So we get it. But anyway, I thought that would be funny. We just, again, some of our tougher customers, we still appreciate you guys. We still love you guys. You make our job interesting. So we love it. So here is the fuel system. Daryl got it all out. Yeah, it is pretty crazy looking. It looks like a octopus. Plant. Yeah, or that too. Roots. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, like the roots. Yeah, touche. Pretty ugly. Remember that air filter that we went through that was horrendous? Well, this was the bike that it was on. It was on a ZX-10. We put a brand new OEM one in there now, so it's got a brand new OEM air filter. And in fact, we put a larger air filter in there. We are able to do some things to the air box to where we were able to put a larger OEM air filter. He wanted OEM, so we stuck with the OEM one. But we have the power commander all hooked up. The ECU's already been flashed. Everything is already kind of set. I got to go through and actually tune this thing now. And I guess we'll take you through really quickly on some of the bikes that we've already had here and some of the updated bikes. So we have this 09 R1 and we swapped out the quick shifter. He had a different style quick shifter. Now we're not done yet, but we powder coated the rod black. Woolwich Racing sends them as a raw aluminum piece. So we powder coated it black because it just went a lot better with the overall look of the bike. So we said, why not? So we passed this along to Brandon. So he knocked that out for us really quickly. Thank you so much, Brandon. We still got to pull these heat shields off, the heat covers, the exhaust covers here, and we're going to get those re-cleared. I'm going to have Lewis remove the old quick shifter stuff because we still have it. So it's linked up into the coils. So it's already been flashed and retuned, but he's going to go ahead and remove this for me, kind of save on time because I do need to get a lot of tuning done. So regardless, though, all of this is looking really, really good for right now. That old quick shifter, we're going to remove it, and then we'll dial in the new quick shifter, the new Woolwich Racing quick shifter. We're going to get all that dialed in for him. Here is another 14R that got dropped off this week. So this one's having an odd noise. So we went through this with the customer, and he wants a turbo kit. So we're going to slap a turbo kit on this thing, but he has an engine issue currently. So we're going to get that rectified first before we obviously add a lot more power to it. So, and he does have a few other little odds and ends, things that we need to rectify before he goes turbo. But the bike is here. It's going to be here for a little while, obviously, while we examine the motor and go through it. And obviously, he does need something fixed. So this will be here for a little while, guys, but keep an eye on this bike. This thing is going to be nasty when we finish it. So we're very excited. Keep an eye on this build. This actually belongs to a female rider. Truthfully, I'm not sure on the whole story on this. Lewis and Daryl went ahead and took this in, and I believe it's just here for mainly maintenance, and I think they said that she wanted it tuned as well. So, but that was a drop-off that we got earlier today. I think I got this one rectified, guys. I'm going to take it on a test drive tonight. I'm going to get some GoPro footage on it. But I'm going to drive this down to Bradenton, so we're going to have a nice long ride to really test it out and really see if we got the issue resolved. It was quite a bit of figuring out, but I think we got it all fixed. So we'll see. Tonight's going to be the night that we're going to test it. This is another customer of ours. He had the Suzuki Gixxer 1000, so this is like kind of like a daily ride for him. So we're just going to kind of clean this up. We're going to clean up the aesthetics just a little bit, kind of give him some flush mounts, cut it up, clean it up. Little things, okay? Just really, really minor things that we're gonna do on this one. This is the one that Lewis has actually been working on. This one just got oil mods, clutch mods, full exhaust system, the Sprint PO8, the Heel Tech quick shifter, etc., etc. So we're making a full video on this one as well, guys. This is a 2022. That one is gonna see the dyno here very, very soon as well. So we got a really full dyno schedule right now. I'm still playing the catch-up game. Since the dyno went down. We have the dyno running now. It's running, obviously, but I am playing that catch-up game on it currently. So this being one of the bikes, the R1 being another one, and yeah, and that 14. Those are like the last really 3 bikes that I really need to get on there. And then there's 2 other ones, but again, the tuning schedule's already booked up for like the next 3 or 4 weeks or so. But here's the big news. This is really what I wanted to hit you guys with, and I've been kind of delaying it just to build the suspense. But I finally got 99% of my bike back, and Lewis and Daryl have been working on it. So here it is. What do you guys think? Please drop it down below in the comment section of what you think of the bike currently. Obviously, it's not 100% yet. It still needs a little bit of work. We still got a few things to do, but I'm curious to see what your guys' opinion is of it. We got to do a little bit of tweaking to the carbon fiber. Of course, just like all carbon fiber, it doesn't fit like OEM, but all in all, I think this color is freaking killer. I think Mike crushed it. I am super stoked. So we have a little surprise that's going to go on here. He did finish these side panels, but there's a little extra that he was doing, and he said, do you mind if I do this? It's going to be a little longer. I said, man, go ahead. I mainly just wanted to get the bike back to where I could ride it and throw it on the dyno and make sure everything was good on the motor. And as long as everything is good on the motor, I was going to say, screw it, let's go ride it. So, and Daryl's kind of fitting on the last little carbon here. I don't know. I might leave this off, to be honest with you. Yeah, I might leave that off. So we're probably
help match a little more, but I don't know.
I like what Mike did with it. I like the paint better.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I like the color of the paint way better. And he fixed the tank. So what happened on this tank, the reason why this cover went on in the first place is there was a dent on the tank, and I don't remember if it was on the left side or right side. Left side? Left top. So yeah, so it was like right in this area I had a pretty gnarly dent, and that's truthfully why I put the carbon cover on in the first place. But man, it looks so good without it. I think I'm gonna leave it off. I truthfully think I'm gonna leave it off. So we jump started the battery real quick to make sure that the bike still even starts. It is pretty weak of the start crank. Yeah. So we literally just threw enough fuel in there just to get it to start up and run and all that jazz. So I got to throw this thing back on the dyno and just make sure it all is running well. But I would say so far so good. This thing's looking pretty rowdy. I love it, guys. Like I said though, drop a comment down below in the comment section and tell me what you think of this color. Oh man, it looks so good. So again, the rear spring, that green, we obviously have the green stripe around the wheels, and then we have the green on the forks. So those this is all gonna get redone. The spring, the overflow, I might even replace these forks all together and get a different set. And I'm gonna try to look for some black ones or something. I don't know yet, but we're gonna swap all that out. I've already talked to Brandon. We're also debating on, now I know everyone's gonna have an opinion about it, but we're gonna see if we can actually powder coat some of that, like a blurple kind of color. Kind of like this titanium blue, if you will. Kind of like that purplish blue. That's kind of why I went with some of these, with like the purple blue bolts, to see if maybe that would flow better with the bike, which I think it does. But tell me what you guys think down below though. I'm super curious to see y'all's opinions. But yeah, comment down below and tell me what you think. But anyway, I'm gonna cut the video here and keep it moving.